All right, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oops, hold on just a minute. What's the date today, Lynn? Oh my goodness.
March 4.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone. This is March 4th of 2022. And tonight you are looking at Friday Night Live with myself, Ron Hulbert, coming from Orlando, Florida, and my beautiful co-host, Lynn Nakamoto from St. Petersburg, Florida. We're glad you're all here. Poor Lynn, I dumped on her this week, and she had to do all this by herself. I apologize for that, Lynn, but you always do a great job. Lynn, go ahead and say some words.
Welcome, everybody. We're in for a good night and hopefully good topic that everybody likes. The topic tonight is going to be ONPASSIVE, the first marketing wonder. And how did we get that? We got it from yesterday's Team Champions webinar, where Ash Mafara, as well as some leaders, showed up and talked about marketing and other related issues. So this is why I came up with this topic. Tonight we have some speakers with us. Marty's going to be talking about marketing in general, and we have 3 IT people. They are Collins Mana, Vincent Ete, and Oliver Fonte, who will be discussing issues related to the data center and things that were discussed yesterday on the Team Champions webinar. So at this time, I wanted to just talk about a topic that Ash talked about yesterday. It was about disruptive marketing. And what he said was the marketing field is dynamic and fluid. You have to adjust constantly. You have to tweak. And he talked about traffic. He says, guaranteed traffic. That's what ONPASSIVE offers to each and every one of us. Guaranteed traffic to a good website. And a good way to make payments, products that are in high demand, constant and many visitors, like in a big mall. Like when you go to a shopping mall, there's a whole bunch of stores in there and you get to choose what you want. And that's what ONPASSIVE is offering us. And there's a lot of people coming into this mall, constantly new people coming in through the front doors of the mall. So because of all these factors, their sales will be made. So we will be able to make sales. That's what Ash said. And he said, think outside of the box. He said, what box? Dump the box. There is no box. We are going viral. And he talked about having a high conversion rate of between 20 and 25%. That is his goal. So at this point, I'm going to segue to Marty DeGarmo to say a few words about that and other things. Go for it, Marty.
Yeah, as most of you know my story, I've been marketing since 2004, 18 years this year. And I was invited on the Indian webinar to talk about marketing and how ONPASSIVE is going to make a difference for marketers that are out there. And it'll make the biggest impact of any marketer in the history of marketing. No doubt about it. The reason is I found out in a very short amount of time that you cannot run a business online unless you know how to market. Now, yeah, you could buy solo ads, you could buy lists, you could do all that, but they're garbage. They don't work. And not only do you have to market, you have to have a stream of people seeing what you have daily, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to have a chance to make money online. And the other thing about marketing, which is even more terrifying, really, is what worked 5 years ago doesn't work today. It's not the same. You can ask people. Tony Monkier, very successful in the 90s, late 90s. You wait 2 or 3 years, it's a different animal. I know a gentleman that I knew personally made $1 million in one day. He came back to do the same thing that he did before, and it was like he had to start over. Not completely over because he understood how it worked, but it's a moving target. It's very, very difficult. Now, when you get a company like ONPASSIVE, who's going to do all that dirty work for you, and yes, It's dirty work and it's very, very expensive. If somebody wanted to market online and do just a startup, just to get going, is a few $1,000s a month, easily, easily. And then when you're building a list, not only are you building a list, you have to store that list. Where do you store it? You store it in Aweber. Aweber charges you for each person on your list, whether they're a good name, a bad name, whatever. So the money is outrageous. And Ash brought up about, people spend a lot of money on a website, how beautiful it is. Means absolutely nothing if you don't get traffic. Zero. I know people that did it and for some reason thought, well, this website's so beautiful, people can't help themselves but come. That's not how it works. I've had some pretty beat up $1.50 websites that did very, very well. Very well. Say a few words, something simple, but I got eyeballs on what I was doing. You have to constantly have that flow. Now, to compare what Ash is doing to anything I've done or anybody I even know, you can't. It's apples and oranges, two different things. He's going to have targeted traffic, which means the people who are coming to your site are coming there because they asked to. They're looking for what you have. That's a big difference, totally big difference. Somebody comes in and says, I'm looking for a web service like Zoom, for example. The day will come ONPASSIVE will pop up on that screen. And first thing they're gonna do is look at value. First thing, don't kid yourself. What can I get and how cheap can I get it? They look at that, and then on top of that, the technology behind ONPASSIVE is going to blow it out of the water. Not only can you have the top technology induced with artificial intelligence, a value unbelievable, and unlimited use. This webinar you're on tonight is about $9,000 a month. 9,000. How many here, raise your hand, can't wait to pay that a month? Who could do that? It's a mortgage payment. It's many mortgage payments. So you can't even start marketing, and you say, well, I don't need to be that big. If you want to make money online, walk away money, you've got to spend 60 grand a month, maybe. I'm not kidding, to market and everything like that. So keep that in mind for that measly, whatever it is we're going to wind up paying for the company to do all the work for you. And it's out there and he knows how to do it. He brought up IP address. IP address were invented by a couple of guys in 1983. And everybody said, well, what's an IP address? When you buy your home, you have no control over what the address is. The address is already there. You buy the house, it's 24 Cherry Street or whatever it is. That's the one. Your computer and where you're from has an address. It was an IP address. Now, when they invented IP, now the tech guys can go over this better than I can. But the IP address was invented back in the 85 when it really got going strong. And they said, we'll make billions and billions of IP addresses so we never run out. They ran out. So they went to IPv6, which at that point, when Ash said, it's a trillion, he's exactly right. I looked it up. It's exactly what it is. And they did that so they got a longer register because there's more addresses. There's more people being involved. And the really neat thing about ONPASSIVE in compares to some guy like me or even guys that market very big scale is, as said, he has access to every IP address on the planet. Now, I don't know about you. I mean, even if you use your imagination, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. And when he says that, he means Marty DeGarmo, where I live, what am I using, what time I got online. I mean, all these things can be broken down. It's a big deal because then you get to know your customer. So yeah, marketing that we're getting for peanuts is unbelievable. And marketers from around the world, when they see it, will be coming in by the thousands, tens of thousands. Why? Because they can't afford not to. and it's going to go viral, like I said. And people don't get what, I know a lot of people don't get what he's saying. You become the hunted when you hit that bell curve of whatever it is. In other words, Facebook has 2 billion accounts, I think, something crazy. A lot of people have a couple. So let's say they have 1 billion people. When you hit a number of 1 billion worldwide, you are the hunted. Facebook doesn't advertise. They don't need to. People go to Facebook to advertise. The day will come that majority of people, where are you going to advertise that? On passive. And when they do, they're going to see Lynn's website, David's website, Richard, all of us here, Tony Monk, Julie, David, Daryl Cook. And like when I said, you know, if you give us permission, and we put a little banner on your website, maybe at the bottom, real small, every time somebody clicks on that, you get paid. I mean, the marketing part of this, when he said it yesterday, it gave me a headache. It really did, because I think kind of crazy already. And then he just keeps giving us more information. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then yesterday he said, within 6 weeks or so, we're going to start marketing campaigns. And it's nothing like you've ever seen. And then he starts naming things it's not. But when he's all done, I don't know anything else. So I don't know what it could be. But he's not kidding. Everyone will know, tens of millions of people will know very quickly who we are. And it's powerful. And that marketing like that, where somebody clicks in Google and says, I want, and sometimes it'll even fill in what you want to say. ONPASSIVE's already crawling over to grab it right away. John Smith in Orlando, Florida, Frank Harrison in Alaska, clicks on it, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and our websites are clicking to it thousands a second. And when it's your turn, you get a sale. It's a killer. I mean, I've never seen it. I can't even imagine anything like it. When I marketed online, it took me 2 months to set up a campaign, paying every day. Every day I had to pay. And then finally I get something that works, maybe 2 months later. And I had to tweak it every week. Every week I had to make a small adjustment to keep the cost down for what you would call visitors, targeted visitors manually. It's a lot of work. I went to show people sometime 20 minutes into it, they said, Frick, I'm not doing that. No way am I doing that, because it takes time. And then when I realized that most people can't do it or don't have the time to do it, how am I going to succeed if they don't? You're never going to succeed unless you can bring people with you. Sorry. You know, I even brought up, maybe there's 1%, less than 1%, like a Tony Robbins, might be somebody that can walk away. Ash heard it, came on and said he can't walk away either. The difference between Tony Robbins and Marty DeGrom and everybody here, he pays hundreds of people to market for him. So he's still marketing. And on passive, you never have to do it again. Now you look up anybody you know online. If Tony Robbins can't do it, you give me one person. I bet you can't. And you get to be one of those people. That's amazing. And what would I do? And I said it before. This thing launches. Take care of yourself. You can't take care of anybody else if you don't take care of yourself first. Take care of yourself. If you have extra money, invest in you. Buy the extra traffic. Build your business quick. Why? Nobody gets up in the morning and said, hey, I think this will be my last day on earth. Right? All we have is time, and we don't know how much time we have. Use that. Leverage your time. Get where you got to get as quickly as you can, and enjoy what you can with your grandchildren or your parents or whatever you want to do. But we are in something that I pinch myself every day because I can't believe it's real. I cannot believe it's real. No joke. And you think Ash told us what he's doing? Trust me, we have no idea. What we don't know is 10 times bigger than anything we know so far. That I'll tell you for a fact. You watch one day what he comes out with, and you guys are going to flip out. And what'll really be cool is when the world finds out what this Frankenstein has developed, or many of them, and you get to say you are a founder. Come on. All right, take the mud in the face now. Let people badmouth you now. Let's see what happens in a year's time. So I know I got off course, but seriously, marketing is the hardest thing. Getting traffic is unbelievably hard. I enjoy it because it's a challenge like playing chess, but it's an expensive way to play chess. This way, when it launches, listen, if let's say you have a passion for something, you go to Create, you make a page, put in your own video, make your own video, send it out, say, Ash, run $1,000 worth of traffic to it, something you have passion over, and you're going to make more money in the business by accident than you did your whole life. How can you beat that? You can't beat it. That's all I got anyway.
Thank you very much. Wow. Covered a lot of ground there, Marty. But it's really, really exciting. And I don't think we realize how blessed we are because we don't have to have this knowledge. We don't have to have the skills. We don't have to have the resources. We don't need to have anything. All we have to do is have our founder position. And of course, we're going to activate our subscription fee so that AI can go to work for us. But other than that, we just sit and we enjoy what's going to happen. We observe. We'll see our teams getting built for us. We'll see some apples coming into our wallet. That's it. It's a done for you system. It's just amazing. And we should all be very grateful that we have at the helm of this company, a very brilliant man, a brilliant marketer, someone who's a genius in driving traffic, and we are the beneficiaries. How good is that, right? Awesome. At this time, we would like to see if there's any comments or questions related to marketing specifically. We'll be talking about the data center shortly, but for now, we want to focus on marketing. Maybe you have questions. This is a good time to ask. There are several marketing experts here within our webinar today. Maybe you have some suggestions. Go for it. This is the time to do it. We have marketers in here. Feel free to speak as well. I noticed we have Tony Monk, who is well-versed. Oh, here we have Cindy Hopkins. She had her own marketing firm for many years, so she could probably talk about marketing. Cindy, you want to take the floor? Let's see, she's coming in. Do you see? There she is.
Takes a little while.
Welcome.
Hi there. Well, that was great. I really, really love what Marty had to say. It always gets me all revved up, I gotta tell you. And yeah, I did have a marketing firm, and I'll tell you, he's so right. I mean, you got to do, whether you're the owner of a marketing firm or whether you're putting together the marketing platform for whatever you're doing, it is a tremendous amount of work. And you know, what I love about ONPASSIVE is that they're going to do it for us. And I just wanted to be clear on that. Marty, if you would clarify or just, I just want to make sure I really know what's going on here. And now, so if I don't want to do that tweaking and don't want it, but I do want more advertising for my sites, all I really need to do is just upgrade my marketing itself. I mean, upgrade it to pay more money to have my sites marketed, or do I have to do more myself?
No, you buy a higher package of advertising package and you're set. It just, you could have them drive more traffic than they're going to drive. It's amazing.
That's what I keep thinking. That's what I have told people. But you know, I almost have to pinch myself every time I say that or try to explain that to someone. Don't you? Don't you find that's just almost unbelievable?
Yeah, it sounds like you're told some kind of fairy tale. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. Well, that's what I'm getting it from the expert here that knows what's going on for sure, and I just love that. I mean, I can't. That's almost all of the problem in succeeding online, wouldn't you say? I mean, it's getting it out there to people. That's where most people fail. They just can't get it out to the right people, to the right customers. And so that's what ONPASSIVE is going to do for us, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that's all I wanted to ask, and just to be sure of it. I thank you so much. Again, it gets me all revved up. And thank you, Lynn and Ron, for this Friday night webinar. We love it. We just love it. Thank you so much.
Glad to have you here, and feel free to chime in, when people have questions, if you want to answer, feel free to
Thank
do
you.
so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, we have Trevor Peters. Come on down, Trevor Peters.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Such an awesome show so far. You guys always do it right. So I have a little bit of a comment, and I would love maybe some input on some thoughts that I've had. Yeah, we're all going to have massive success in ONPASSIVE. I mean, that's already guaranteed. And once the apples start rolling in, what it's going to be able to do is allow us to find our true passion in life. And it'll be the easy road to get there. For example, I have a dream of opening my own healing center, and like yoga and sound bath therapy, light frequency, some metaphysical type stuff too. And that brand new business, just starting off the ground, is already going to be leaps and bounds ahead of any other business out there that's trying to do the same thing. And by utilizing ONPASSIVE to do all the heavy legwork, it's going to make my job that much more fun, and I will actually be able to dig in and not have to worry about all of the back end stuff to be able to run a business. So that's kind of my thoughts on the marketing part of it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Trevor. Next, we have Tony Monk.
Yeah, thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. Marty pretty much stated it pretty well. I was supposed to be a guest on the Indian webinar, but I had a commitment. I couldn't make it. But as far as marketing is concerned, it is the hardest thing. It really is. And it's what 97% of people fail at, okay? Like Marty was saying earlier, to try and recruit people for whatever it is that you're doing, it's not easy. I mean, a lot of us have done it. Many people have done it back in the 90s, but I was very successful in the 90s because it was the beginning of the internet gold rush. Things were happening. Things were just happening. It was new. Everything was brand new. People were making money on the internet. It was a .com era. And it was easier to build lists at that time. It was easier to sell stuff on the internet back then. But in the early, I think in the mid or the beginning of the 2000s, 2002, 3, 4, 5, around there, everything started to become saturated. You had say 1,000 or 10,000 people that would join a company, for example, and everybody's using the same landing page. You know, solo ads were big at that time. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry had everybody on their solo ad. So solo ads were completely bombarded. So there's different kinds of traffic, okay? It's not just one source of traffic. There's solo ads that other people have on their list. They usually build them up. They get them from pay-per-click, usually Google, whatever the case may be, and they'll build it up on their autoresponder, like Marty was talking about, which is GetResponse or Aweber, any of those autoresponders. They build a list of a whole bunch of people, and then these people are constantly bombarded. They're being sold to on a consistent basis, right? So now some of these people also sell some of their lists to other people. So now you got this snowball effect of the same people on everybody's list. And then you wonder why nobody's making any money, okay? Now, when Ash talks about going to the source, that is huge, because the source, usually when you go to the source, these people they're virgin traffic, okay? They've never been sold to before. Some of them, a lot of them, they fill out a survey, okay? And they say, I would like to make money from home. I'm willing to spend between $200, $500, that kind of thing. And what they do is they put them aside into a holding tank, okay? And they email them on a consistent basis to try and to keep their excitement up. When it comes, they're telling them about a company that's going to be launching pretty soon. Okay, so they're excited. So when it comes to the day that we put out the global campaigns, they're going to be ready to jump all over it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you call going to the source. Now, not only going to the source, but when he talks about the brick and mortar way of also advertising as well, I mean, that's huge when you start to do commercials and billboard ads and newspapers. And I mean, it's just huge. Right. So Ash knew all of this. He knew that it was hard. It was, and it got hard as the years went by. So he thought, okay, well, let me create something that I can bring in the 97% of people that constantly struggle. So he took care of the recruiting. He took care of the landing pages. He took care of the campaigns. He took care of everything. Okay, when you have a new web page 24/7, 365 days a year, if you were to do that on your own, good luck. Okay, and now he's got traffic coming in, people, eyeballs that are looking for exactly what we have. Okay, it's a done deal. It really is. I've never seen anything like this before. I wish I had this back in the 90s. I'd be way, way ahead of where I am today, but I'm glad to be here. And I thought I'd just throw that in there. Marty pretty much stated it perfectly. And marketing is not easy. It really isn't. It's the hardest thing. You can have the best products on the planet. Okay, and you can have the most intelligent people, okay, that have 5 master degrees that create these products. Without the marketing part of it, you've got nothing. Okay, you need the marketing part of it for people to buy those products. Okay, and without the products, you don't have the marketing. You see, they go hand in hand, right? The marketing and the products go hand in hand. So they're just as important as each other. Okay, myself personally, I think the marketing part of it is a lot more complicated in its own way, and there's reasons for that. I'm not going to go into right now, but I just thought I'd throw that in there. Thank you so much, Lynn.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Tony. When you talk about that stuff, I'm like, I'm not interested in learning that stuff. You know, as you describe what you go through, I say, you know, I'm really a happy camper that I'm a founder of this company, because I will never have to deal with that stuff. I'll let the experts handle it, like Ash Mafara. So I am a happy camper, as I said. Hi, Joyce. Come on down.
Hi, Lynn. How are you? Hi, Ron. Hi, everybody. Thank you guys for the awesome webinar. I'm so happy I got to make it, but you guys are just blowing me away. Oh my gosh, Marty and Tony's like, this is just mind blowing. I did have a question, and I probably already answered it myself. I think I already know it, but so you're talking about buying extra traffic. And so if you have multiple accounts and you buy extra traffic for all these accounts, that's just increasing our bottom line. I know that's what it's doing. So I already know that, but I've tried marketing in the past and I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I couldn't get one person. So I quit. But when this came along, it was like, I'm passive, just like, like they say, it's just all that and a bag of chips. So I am just so excited about this. And it's like, I just can't wait to, just share it as much as I can with everybody. But I know that question is probably, once you have multiple accounts and you increase the traffic or you buy traffic for all those accounts, you'll have to buy that separately for each account, I'm sure. And plus it will increase your bottom line. Is that kind of on the...
Yeah, you could buy traffic choice for one account, all accounts, whatever you want to do. Either way, you want to build your team if you can, or build your business. Let me say that. For me, sooner than later, it just makes sense. What you could also do too is, as your accounts are running, some will do better than others. So you might want to take the weaker account and run extra traffic to that one to bring it up even with the other one. And you can move that traffic around all the time to keep them all pretty much even if you want. So it's whatever you want to do. You could drive traffic to one site, you could drive it to separately, whatever you want to do. And the more apples that come in, the more traffic you could drive if that's what you decide to do. So it's beautiful.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Marty. And I have built a team. I'm trying, building a team little by little, but it's growing. So I'm excited about that. So I will definitely be doing all those things. And thank you guys for everything, all the advice, and just keep it coming. Love it. Love it. Yes.
Great, Joyce. And I think the beauty of this is that we can use our apples. If you don't want to come out of pocket all the time, we'll have so many apples coming into our buckets, if you want to call that. We'll be able to use those apples to purchase extra traffic with these traffic packages.
And one more thing, Lynn, to add to that. Everybody reminds me of stuff, I'm sorry. And if I don't say it now, this old head, I'll forget. Keep in mind, as you're building, Joyce or anybody, the quicker you get to the magic number, and I don't know what that magic number is, but when you get to the point that you get infinity bonus is what you're looking for, okay? So if it's 125 personals, which I don't know what the number is, that's what I thought it was originally, but he brought it up the other day. You want to get to the point where you hit that magic number and the company gives you 3 positions for free. You don't even have to maintain them. So if I owned 5 accounts, which I do, but for me, if I had one closer to that magic number, Ash will let us know what that is, I would definitely go after that number first, because it goes back to something I've always said: leverage what you're doing. Get each one to that magic infinity bonus. Infinity bonus is so powerful, guys. I mean, imagine if you're paid. Now, just imagine. I don't know exactly how it works, so I'm very careful how I talk, but I'm pretty sure. If you get to that magic number and you go from 15 levels to 25 levels, your income could quadruple, because you just opened a door to levels down below you that you can't even see. That's powerful stuff. So keep in mind, if you're building, I would definitely build. That's why I've told people from day one, should I help somebody get their 3? No freaking way. Keep going wide. You're going to help them get their 3 anyway because of overflow. Go wide as you can. Let the company build down. And when you hit that magic number in one of your accounts, Joyce, go to the next one. Then go to the next one. I would beef them up until all of them are in that, what we call infinity bonus. And then go have fun. Whatever.
Yeah, I love it. So this infinity bonus, I think the power of it is that it provides us with an unlimited income, and this income will continue to grow over time. So, we talk about companies having limits on how much you can make, right? But with OnPassive, there truly is no limit to how much you can earn, especially with this infinity bonus that you talk about. It's very powerful, and I don't think other companies offer it, right, Marty, as far as you know? It's just really unique to us.
No one. Every company I've ever been in has a cap, and it's a cap that you'll never reach.
Just amazing. And we're lucky Ash decided to incorporate that infinity bonus. Why? Because he's looking out for us, right? He's trying to make us have true freedom. So I think that's just amazing. We're very blessed. All right, now we have Dr. Benny Blessing. Hi, Dr. Benny.
Good evening to each and everyone. Thank you, Auntie Lynn, for this opportunity. Good evening again. I don't know much about marketing, but what types of marketing strategies will our CEO utilize within OnPassive?
Well,
that's a question, okay.
Yeah, Dr. Benny, I think as soon as you think you know what he might be doing, look, I can only go by the experience I have, and I can think of maybe 20 or 30 different ways to generate traffic.
Pretty upset too.
And Ash knows a way that he's never mentioned before. He said, it's not this, it's not that, it's not that, it's not that, it's revolutionary. So whatever it is he's about to do, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But he said tens of millions of people will know what OnPassive is very quickly. Tens of millions will know who OnPassive is very, very quickly. I'm thinking, okay, you got Facebook, you got all this social media, you've got paid pay-per-click, you got Gmail, Google, you got one of his friends is a big advertising guy. He's going to go through him. He had said at one time that he has right now on a list 100 different companies that he can market with. But whatever's going to happen in the next 6 to 8 weeks, whatever that is something that he said that we've never seen before. So yeah, I'm like you. I don't know either. I don't know, but it's going to be fun when we find out. I don't know. I mean, I'm running wild. What are you going to put? Is he going to tow stuff behind a plane? I don't know. And he kept emphasizing, I'm going to take you higher than your ears are going to pop. Your ears are going to pop. And then finally one day he said, no, I mean physically. So now I'm wondering, what is he talking about? Is it something to do with satellite? Is it OTV where everybody can? I don't know. But whatever you think it is, it's crazy. And he's so happy. I mean, he's really excited over whatever it is. So we're in for a lot of fun very, very soon. And
Do you
we'll
mind
find.
if I just add to that, Lynn?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lynn?
Yes, go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, there are people that make 7 figures, 8 figures a year, okay? And they're using the traditional ways of marketing, which is what we just talked about, Marty and myself, okay? They're using the boring ways of marketing that died, 10 days ago, okay? Ash is using something completely different that nobody else is using, okay? It's revolutionized, and he hasn't told us what it is. So whatever it is, it's probably 100 times better than what the 7-figure and 8-figure earners are using right now. Okay, so it's big, believe me. Thank you.
Here's a mind blower, guys. Keep in mind, when I marketed, if I got 5% return on my marketing, I was killing it. I was happy. Ash said if he doesn't get 20 to 25%, he feels it a failure. So wrap your head around that. He's saying if I don't get 20 to 25%, something's wrong. And let me tell you something. Nobody can tell you that. Nobody walking this planet that I know, because I've been around a long, long time. He said that in a statement yesterday. In fact, I wrote it down because I had to listen to it again because I couldn't believe what he said.
Nobody in their right mind that I've known anyways that I've made, and I know a lot of people that have made a lot of money on the internet. Nobody has ever gotten 20 to 25% ROI. Okay, that's almost unheard of. And this is a man that also ended up creating a list of 800 million IP addresses. Okay, and he created an algorithm for that. I mean, we're talking about an Einstein genius here that's doing things completely different from all the average stuff that's happening right now, where some of the 3% are making the 7-8 figures a year. You see what I'm saying? But because Ash knows how to market better than any one of them, that guarantees pretty much our success for the 97% of people that are struggling.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate it. Good question, Dr. Benny. It got our gears turning. I'm sure all of us were thinking, what in the heck? When he says, literally, your ears will pop, right? And we'll say, yeah. He goes, no, literally, your ears will pop. So I'm thinking something high elevation, something high up there is going to happen. What? Something up there, right? That's my guess. I could be wrong. I don't know.
So,
All right.
Auntie Lynn, sorry.
Yes.
So I was thinking of one of the strategies is like social media advertising and sales or something like that. So I don't know. I was just trying to find out.
Yes, I know. I was thinking about the typical things, social media, the various forms of media, newspaper, radio, television, billboards, podcasts, churches. But I think he's got something else in mind.
Okay.
We just don't know what it is. But I think it'll be a pleasant surprise when we do find out what it is.
You
Thank
better
you.
believe you'll be surprised. We'll all be surprised, Lynn. I mean, we can't even actually fathom it. He's given lots of hints though. And I mean, there is going to be no stone left unturned when it comes to advertising and promoting our wonderful company. No stone. I mean, anywhere you look, just look at, okay, what's a little marketing somebody's doing out there? I mean, just whether it be a big company, little company, medium company, there will be no stone left unturned when Ash Mufara lets loose. There will be none. So it's super exciting, to say the least. Super exciting.
Thank you.
Yes, actually mind blowing, right?
Totally
Okay.
right.
So
Totally
we're
right.
And with those
Big time.
numbers, 20-25%, that is viral, guys. When you hit that and you constantly hit that, we will be living in a viral world. And when you're doing something viral, you will be amazed what happens. The
And just to
numbers and the people coming in will blow you away.
Just to radiate on what Marty is saying and has been saying, remember, we've marketed for a long time. I've done it for over 25 years. 1% and 5% is the norm. Okay, those are really good returns. If you get 5%, oh my God, you're in heaven. Okay, 1% is usually the average return on investment. He's talking about 20 to 25%. If he doesn't get that, he's not happy. Like, think about that for a minute. That is huge. That is huge. Okay, we marketers understand what he's talking about when he blows our mind when he talks about numbers like that. Back to you, Lynn. Thank you.
all right.
You know, Lynn, could I also add something to what Tony said? That I
Certainly,
think
Cindy.
super, super important. I mean, you know, and something I get a lot of feedback on is, you know, well, there's just only so many people that, you know, are out there. And the truth is, guys, I really think hard about this. Well, you don't really have to think too hard, right? Right, Tony? I mean, people out there, they want extra money. I don't care if they are loaded billionaires. Why are they billionaires? Marty's told you time and again, because they like money. I mean, that's a billionaire that just keeps finding ways to make more money, right? And those little folks, the little guy that is always struggling to just make ends meet, like myself, for example. I mean, we just want, you know, some extra funds. And this company, our company, is going to, when you talk about 25%, even 20%, I mean, 20 or 25, think about 20,000 customers. Okay, for example, if you were able to get, or 20,000 people, if you were able to get just, you know, 25% of those, that would be 5,000 people, right? But and people say, well, that's just, you know, they just can't see that happening because we've got 1 million plus founders. Okay, but guys, you need to write down these numbers, and this is very, very important. If you don't think there's enough people out there, just use the figure 5 billion. Now, I don't know how many people are in the world. 8 plus. I don't know how many users there are in the world, but as far as internet users, but if you just wrote down 5 billion and write all the zeros that entails, and then use your calculator, divide it by 2,000 or 5,000. And these are businesses that maybe need more than one product that we'll have. They might need 10 of the products. They might need 15 of the products. They might need 3 or 4 of the products. We're talking huge numbers. So you multiply that 8 billion or 5 billion times whatever figure of times 5. I mean, we will not run out of customers in our lifetimes. And anybody, I don't care if they're 18 years old just coming in, we're not going to run out of customers in our lifetime, right? I think that's important to absolutely remember. And if that doesn't excite you, gosh, I don't know what does. You're in the wrong business, in my opinion, if that doesn't excite you, because it's pretty incredible. Thank you again, and I'm going to back off here.
Very, 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 very incredible. Okay, wait. I'm speaking now. Okay,
please?
Sure. 1 second first. Now it is 9 p.m., right? So we've been here for an hour. There's a major topic that we wanted to cover, and that is the data center and the IPv6. We have our 3 IT specialists here. So I'm thinking how we're going to be able to cover all the topics. I see we have 6 or 7 people wanting to speak, probably related to marketing right? Because that's the topic we're on. So I'm thinking maybe what we can do is let's try to see if we can finish all the comments and questions within in about 15 minutes, so that we leave at least half an hour to discuss the data center. Because I know you guys want to hear from the IT guys, because they're going to tell you what we don't know. All right. So let's go ahead and go through our 6 people who have their hands raised.
I'd like to
Who
add
just said they wanted to
Cindy's,
speak? You want to speak
add
before the
to
6
to
people?
what Cindy
Okay.
said.
Okay, go for it.
Okay,
Go for it, Richard.
he said
Please.
our ears will pop.
That's
How many
not
people?
fair.
How many people in this world have cell phones? Imagine every cell phone in the world ringing at the same time. What pops up? ONPASSIVE. That's what I read between his lines. And I'll leave you with that. I love you all. Kisses and
Thank you,
hugs.
Richard. Okay, so now we have 6 people with their hands raised. So the last person will be David Switzer, and then we're going to talk about the data center. All righty. So let's go with Albert Reed. Go ahead and speak. Try to keep your comments to maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Thank you. Go ahead, Albert.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you, Auntie Lynn. Pleasant good evening to everyone. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. My comment is, or my 2 cents, where marketing is concerned. I was part of network marketing, and I was fortunate enough to work as hard to get to becoming a director in that program. But what I found, and after I discovered ONPASSIVE, it blew my mind to see the difference between the 2 entities, network marketing and what ONPASSIVE has to offer. Now, what I did back then in terms of market, I literally marketed myself. After my 8 to 4 job, I would go to like the supermarkets. I would stand outside, and everybody that passed the doorway, I would stop them to introduce them to my business. And that's how I was able to grow in network marketing without the help of having an internet working for you in the background, without anything, without even my seniors helping me. I literally had to market myself. So when I came into ONPASSIVE, I realized that this is a lot of network marketing is a lot of work. I mean, they told us you need to have a phone list, empty your phone list, go after everybody in your phone list. And when that is done, they say go after your Facebook. I created so many friends on Facebook just to promote my business. And then when you're finished with your Facebook list, then you have to go create an infinity list, they call it. So this is now anybody, random person that you would have come across, you add them to this list, and you keep going after people. And it's a lot of, I was like, we tell people, come away from your 8 to 4, 9 to 5, and come into network marketing where you can have a residual income. But they didn't tell you that coming into network marketing means that you're working overtime than in your 8 to 4, 9 to 5. Because when you're finished working, you're done until the next day. In network marketing, you have to keep going and going long after your day is finished. You're still at it. You have to be spending a lot of money in training, a lot of money in mentorship, just to equip yourself with enough information. I have to be changing the script even that I use just to, invite and to get new clients. And I'm so grateful for ONPASSIVE that everything is now automated, and that whole drama is no more. I just want to share that with you guys, that even though I did well back then, that's old school. And what we have today is a treasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Albert.
Thank you.
All right. Miss Laurie, come on down real quick.
Hi, everyone. I was just got back into kind of marketing. I'm doing the eBay thing and stuff right now. And I get back into it and I find out, they have a thing that you promote your listing for another $4 besides the percentage. I tried that once. That didn't, work. I had to pay and my stuff didn't sell. And anyways, these eBay people that sell online, they complain about eBay charging all the money. And and making us pay for taxes and stuff. And then you have to pay for taxes at the end of the year also, or whatever. But anyways, like coming on passive, like they have a set, a certain way that eBay sets up, right, with categories and stuff. I was wondering, like in a selling market in that area, something be set up like eBay.
Marty?
Hold on. Somebody text me. Well, there'll be something like eBay. Yeah, the marketplace to me would be like an eBay. You're going to be able to go to the marketplace and buy anything but eggs. I'm just kidding. But I mean, you'll be able to buy anything that you possibly could want. You can put anything there. You'll be able to buy anything there, as long as it's legit. I don't need to say that to people. You know that. But there'll be stuff, healthcare, there'll be stuff, whatever you could think of can be in there. I've already got a list in my head that I would put in there, things that I actually like and know that they work. I'd put them in there, let them go.
Right. I listen to a lot of YouTube channels, and the guys talk about if there is any place else other than to sell, and I'm sitting there listening and I'm going, I could tell you, but you can't hear me right now.
No, exactly. I mean,
And it's just
the marketplace will be a huge mall inside of ONPASSIVE.
Yeah.
It will be huge, absolutely huge, because a lot of the physical property products that assets making will be in that market. And a lot of people that through the years, all of you have been in other businesses if you're over 30 years old. And some of those businesses, you like the products. What was the problem? Couldn't get anybody to buy them because they're expensive, and you couldn't afford to do because you had an auto ship. If you're making all the money you could think of and you're doing fine financially, now you can promote that as a passion, and you don't care if you make money. Guess what happens? You're going to make a lot of money because you don't have to worry about, because you can drive traffic to it. People will see, then you can make your own videos, which is, oh my God, don't get me started. But you can, no, but I mean, you could leverage everything back to personalizing you, right? Get a domain name for you, for that product, sell things. My wife does a lot of crafts. She goes to these craft shows on Facebook. So of course I go, hey, ask them what the biggest problem is. Oh, I got 100,000 followers on Facebook. To email them, it costs X amount of dollars. I go, okay, tell them I'm going to have a video for them. I'm going to help them out. That's all, little things. Everybody needs it. Everybody's going to use ONPASSIVE. And if you think of all the possibilities, it's mind blowing. But I would think the closest thing to what we would call an eBay that could do what eBay's doing, but better, would be the marketplace. And remember, there's O-commerce too that we don't even know about yet.
Mart and O-commerce, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Lori,
Thank
that
you.
answer it for you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good deal. Thank you very
I'll
much.
try to answer faster too. I'm sorry. And you guys got to hustle.
No problem. William DeLorme, 2 minutes. Come on down.
Thank you, Marty.
You're welcome.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Nope,
Okay.
not a one. Just kidding.
I just like to say, I like that think out the box, get rid of the box. That's a great attitude. I really like that. And I want to mention that when I was working, I go online, I had products, I buy traffic, and it seemed like I was only earning a little bit and spending more on traffic. I spent $100 and maybe earned $2. That didn't make it much sense to me. So I stopped. But when I saw ONPASSIVE, I said, everything is under one roof. It makes much more sense. That's my 2 cents. I want to keep it short.
And you did. Thank you, William. All right, my man David Switzer, come on down.
Okay, I just want to say something here. I used to market before. I got my feet wet in it. I've not had been a long as Tony or Marty has, but I've done it, and I've lost quite a bit of money in it too. But the thing is that everybody needs to remember one thing here. Just remember, it only costs you $97 to be a founder, and it's only going to cost you $200 to $300 to be a customer in it. That's all the money you're going to spend. Another nice thing about it, you got AI. AI is going to do all the work for you. Now, the thing is, now, if I was on the other side of the marketing, and if I didn't get the customer to come in, if I didn't get no customer, then I'm not going to make no money in it. That's just the way it works. And another thing too, that my head's going blank on me, but nice thing about on the other side is that if you ran solo ads, and I know what it's like to run solo ads, and those things ain't worth a darn. But the thing is that if you decide to run solo ads, and it depends where you buy your traffic at, and if a solo ad's been run a lot, sometimes the guys don't want to run the solo ads because they're wore out. They don't want to run them. What's nice about ONPASSIVE products, they're all new products, and they're going to be hot for a long, long time. And the nice thing about it, that you're not going to have to. You're going to have customers coming in all the time. You're never going to have to worry about it. You have to go out and get another customer, because once they come in, they're your customer for life. So just remember that. So you're not going to have to. You're not going to have to do any more work. Go out and get more customers so you can make more money, because they'll automatically be coming in your back office and you're going to be set. So, hey, you guys got it good. You got AI, and like I said, once you're in it to win it, and that's what's so great about ONPASSIVE. So I hope I made sense.
David, I'm proud of you, man. Does anybody remember when David Switzer would never say a word? He was always in the background, but you would never hear him. Well, welcome to ONPASSIVE, David.
Yeah,
You got
he
it in
was
your blood, brother.
He was shy, Ron. He couldn't talk.
That's right.
I don't know where he went, but he's not there anymore.
Good deal. Thanks, David. Okay, Lynn, back to you.
Thank you, everybody. I think that was a lively discussion regarding marketing. Very good questions, very good comments. Thank you so much. We're going to move on to our next topic, which is the data center. And I could talk about what Ash said, but I won't, because I don't want to steal the thunder of our IT guys. First of all, Marty, can you make Oliver Fonte a co-host? He's in the house. He's in the panelist list under OW Oliver Fonte. OW.
Yeah, I know who he is. Hold on.
Thank you so much. Did you make him did you find him?
He's on the second page, Marty.
All right. Hi, Oliver. Hi, Vincent. And hi, Collins. Are you guys ready to roll? I have to thank our two guys from UK, because right now it is 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 a.m. 2 a.m. 2:16 a.m. So let's give them a hand just for staying up for us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you so much. But we definitely want to cover what Ash said yesterday on the Team Champions webinar. He had a lot to say about data centers. I was very excited, although I have to admit I didn't fully understand, because I am definitely a lay person. So I'll let you three take the floor and bring it down to a level that all of us can understand.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Lynn, for this opportunity. So today I'm going to talk about the IPv6. Our CEO talked about that yesterday. So first of all, I would like to try to explain what is IPv6 to allow everyone here to understand exactly what is IPv6. And then I can give how does IPv6 works, and then the advantage of IPv6, and then also the security about the IPv6. So first of all, the IPv6 is a Internet Protocol version 6. That's what it stands for, IPv6, Internet Protocol version 6. And then it's an upgrade from IPv4. So the IPv6 is a network layer protocol. that allows the data communication. That means it pass a packet over a network. It's allowed to pass packet through a network. So this involves sending and receiving data from a packet of between two nodes in the network. We got node A and node B. So this is it allowed to pass the node from one node to another node. This is the packet between two nodes in a network. So the IPv6 was introduced, let's say, to replace the IPv4. They currently, most companies and other businesses using IPv4. So the IPv6 is the next generation internet because it is capacity and also its growth in the recent year. So let's say, how does IPv6 works? So every device that is connected to the internet has a network identity and has its own IP address in order to connect the internet connection to function effectively. So let's try to let people understand what I'm trying to say here is to reach, let's say I want to go to Lynn address or any friend address, you must know this or a correct address, street address, and then the zip code. So this is what you need to know. So the IP address works the same way for your device. So the earlier version was IPv4, and they use a 32-bit addressing scheme, and then support over 4.3 billion devices. So people might think it's a huge number apparently, but it's not. It's not, because due to a rapid increase in the use of the internet, like personal computer, you talk about smartphone and the Internet of Things devices, or let's say maybe iPad, all these kind of things. So in the same house, you can find that today you can have maybe 10 or maybe 5 to 10 devices connect to the internet. So they all need IP address. So that means it's not enough now because of the way the world is moving. So this IPv4 is not enough to help all of us to have an IP address. So now we move to the next generation, which call IPv6. And then the IPv6 use 128-bit addressing and support 340 trillion users, because the whole one is only 4.3 billion devices. And then it's not enough for our developed world today, because more we use it, we need more. It's like the whole telephone system. Some countries, they have like 4 digits, and then after they increase it to 5 digits, and then 10, etc. So according to development of the world, we have increased that IPv4 to 6, so which is 340 trillion. So 340 trillion, it can support all the devices, everything. So this is how the IPv6 can handle packet more effectively and also enhance the performance and boost the security. So this is how the IPv6 work. And also we can talk about the benefits of IPv6, because IPv6 support long of 128 bits, which is like 16 bytes and the destination address. Is also linked to range full of multicast addresses. So is IPv6 addresses host to the host name. So it supports also a lot of identity sequence of packets. So and then so it resolve also the IP address to any link of by using multicast neighbor request message. So this is I'm trying to break it down so that most people can understand here. So this is how the IPv6 works. Yeah. So and then who should worry about the IPv6 and why? So the reason why, because IPv6 is the ability for both. Sorry, can you mute yourself, please?
I muted Momodu.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So IP, I say, who should worry about the IPv6 addresses and why? So the IPv6 network is a network protocol there for both businesses and home users. So like tech companies can use it, our data centers, network engineer, mobile carrier. So in this way, that's why we're going to use it, this new generation IP address for our data center. So the data center will be more secure and then more dynamic and more performance. So this is the main reason of IPv6. So this is the good reason for IPv6. So in terms of security, IPv6 run hand-to-hand encryption security, and also according to the cyber security softwares, the IPv6 for the secure neighbor discovery, send packet, make address resolution, poisoning, and other naming system. So the IPv6 security system is also designed for a complex and flexible infrastructure way. So it's also designed for you don't need the firewall system to protect your network. And then also is not more vulnerable to attack. So it's not like the VPOR system where it's more vulnerable to attack, but this one is more secure and then difficult is also very complex and then difficult to configure. So this is how this network will be protected, because using that for our data center, it will be more secure, more strong and then robust, and then also the traffic, it will control more traffic, the network traffic around or across the world. So this is what is IPv6. So the IPv6 can also run an IPv4. So this network configuration or routing system is very complicated, and then also, let's say the implementation of the network security is also difficult through the packet filtering. So this is something which is making more security and then also more complex to configure. So the trident will be very difficult to to filter or go into your network. So this is in few way what is a network or IPv6.
Thank you. Thank you for a short introduction to IPv6. We have Oliver and Collins, if you wanted to add to what Vincent just said.
Yeah, so I'll add, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm Collins, from the UK. So I'll just add something before Bro Oliver come in. Bro Vincent, well done. That was really well planned. Natry, yeah. So we're talking about the internet protocol, which is IP address. Bro Oliver, I've already explained it. So IP stands for internet protocol. So internet protocol gives you the access to internet, as Bro Oliver already explained. So every devices you have in this world have an IP address. And maybe if I can just share my screen for 1 second just to show you what is IP address, and I can pick my screen for you guys to see. So can I just share, Lynn?
Yes, go ahead.
Your
co-host, so you can share
right.
the screen.
All right, that's good. Thank you. So I will share that. So can you guys see my screen? If you can see my screen, just say yeah.
Yes.
Thumb up. Yeah. So if you look at it, IPv4, that's my IP address. If you look at it, that is it there. If you look at it, that is it. And if you see IPv6, that is the length of IPv6. So it's alpha and numeric. And IPv4 is just alpha number. That is just numeric number, sorry. And that's it down there. I just want to show you. So I pick my screen just to share and to show you what is. So if I don't have this number, there is no way I can access internet. If your device don't have this number, what you are seeing here, there is no way you can have access to the internet. This is the internet protocol. That's what they call internet protocol. That number 192.168. But if you look at IPv6, it's a colon. So that's what Bro Vincent said. It is trillions upon trillions of users. And one of the things Bro Oliver says, so I'll just, Bro Vincent said, let me just stop my screen. I just want to share that with you for you guys to see the IP address. That is IP address. You just go to cmd.com dot. You ping your phone, your whatever device you have. That's what you will see. If you don't have that number, there is no way you can have access to internet. And that is what they call IP address of any device you have, be it your phone, your laptop, your iPad, all of them has a certain number called IP address. So it gives you access. And now we are talking about IPv4. That was the latest one. That was the old one. Because of the number of users in the internet space, now we are short of IP address. That's why they upgrade to IPv6. So IPv6 is the upgrade of that, and it is separated by colon, not dot. So it gives you that length, and it is alpha and numeric. Secondly, it is speed, because normally, because of the size, remember, if you have a lot of boxes in your house, right? We are talking about our data center. A lot of boxes, somebody tell you, go into that house and find something. It is difficult to find it, but when they give you the location, because IP address give you the location, it is easy for you to go and say, okay, this is the thing, and you pick it and come. So that is how IP address work. They know the location, identify your address, your name, the user. So the moment you buy a gadget, already everything about you is there. And that is what OTracker will track, because they can know you, they can identify who owned that gadget at a certain time when you use it. That is what they track, because you have that IP address on your gadget. So they can get you for that. But now we are talking IPv6, which is well protected, as Brother Vincent said. Protected, security is strong because of the alpha and numeric, and you can easily locate. And it is faster, as Brother Vincent said. IPv4 is 32 bytes, which is slower. IPv6 is 128 bytes. So it is faster, as we think, and then unlimited. So that's what I wanted to add. Thank you, Brother Vincent, for that demo. Thank you.
Thank you, Collins. That brings it home for us. I can relate to it. And to remind everybody that ONPASSIVE has the global list of IP addresses. Am I right? So we have at our disposal a list, the daily list that shows every IP address in the entire globe. That's like billions. Is that billions of devices? Billions or millions?
Trillions.
Billions, I think.
Lots of devices. Trillions.
So, and it gets updated every 24 hours, right? To reflect additional devices that have come online. And we're going to be able to use that list and in conjunction with OTracker, right?
Yeah.
To help the company to market. So this is a big deal, right, Colin?
Yeah, so that's fine, because OTracker track the IP address. OTracker is the IP tracker, so it tracks every IP address. So the moment a manufacturer manufactures a product with IP address, OTracker will identify it. And that is the beauty about ONPASSIVE. Whatever you have, OTracker will get it, except you will not use that device. So the moment it comes out from the manufacturing company, we have the IP address. That's the beauty about ONPASSIVE.
It's mind-blowing. Another mind-blowing thing. Thanks, Colin. Next, we have Oliver Fonte.
Yeah, hi, everybody. Wonderful presentation. My brother Vincent and Collins was wonderful. I just want to add just a little bit to what my colleagues have just mentioned. That in ONPASSIVE with the IPv6, this is mind-blowing with us, and we have the IPv6 when it comes to the security part of it. Perfect. I don't see anybody that can come into us. Our data center or cloud center is going to pick it up also, and we can have trillions of trillions of trillions of trillions, like the CEO said yesterday about our IP address. Come again. The sophistication of all our tools. Let me just say to our equipment, like we have 5G. Now we heard about IPv6. We have AI. Tell me, with all these that we got, the automation, the integration. The CEO said the other day, I didn't want to, like when he said, I laughed, because when Lynn asked him about the comparison between Amazon and us, he said Amazon, they have a lot of data center, cloud center, but with the sophistication of our data center and our VS, our IP version 6, with our 5G, with our AI, with the trillions of data that are going to come in with V6 version, we will have limited just the continent, all the continent, but with sophisticated servers that can carry trillions, we are going to be fine. We are going to be fine because fiber optic cables, 5G, V6, IP, AI, these are the four things that are going to carry ONPASSIVE on unlimited infinity, that there's no other company that I see that is going to compete with us, because our security first, IPv6 is encrypted end to end. The cost also to maintain it is very, 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 it's not that much like any other data center that they do carry about how many data center all over the world, all over the place with IP V4. But we have the modern V6. We have 5G. We have AI. We have fiber optic cables. That all goes into our cloud service, data centers. This is mind-blowing. This is really mind-blowing. This is really mind-blowing. Then when you also look at the algorithms that are going to come with our artificial intelligence, combined with the IPv6, when you put those combinations together, I bet you, when I look at it, I laugh. Okay, I know that our technology, we are far, 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 far away from the others, because most of them now, like Google and the rest, they have the IP 4V or V4. We have IP V6. We have 5G. We have AI. Combined, our technology is far away. I'll keep repeating it. With anti-dictation, we can also dictate future attacks. Our domains, our own domains, are going to be well protected, encrypted, well protected and encrypted. If there's any attack, they are going to defend it and block all the ports that nothing can get in. Our firewalls also are going to be sophisticated, that they cannot even, before anybody can get into our AI cloud center, not even talking that we have our IPv6. And fiber optic cables are also there that get in with the speed and the encryption. We are fine. I will not have that much to say. I will leave it for if there's any question for us to answer. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you. So I'm sure our minds are working right now, realizing what we have in hand, right? A data center that is going to be clearly superior and at a price that's going to beat the competition, because we know Ash, he always offers value. 5G, AI, fiber optic cables, and IPv6. There is nothing better. And what does it mean to us? ONPASSIVE itself is going to benefit because we will have a very secure data center for our own use, right? But in addition, think about the market cap out there. Remember how I mentioned that Walmart was paying AWS a monthly fee of over $30 million US per month. That's a lot of money, right? So you think about all these corporations, large and small, that are going to come to ONPASSIVE for cloud computing services because we're superior, and the value we offer, a very, very low price for what you get, secure and all of that. That's going to bring in lots of money to ONPASSIVE. That's a huge revenue stream. And we as founders are going to benefit directly. Why? Because of profit sharing. The more ONPASSIVE makes, that money, that revenue is going to be shared directly with founders. And there are only about 1.2 million of us. So think about it. The foundership is going to come to a close in a matter of weeks, which means the pool of founders is going to be finite. It's going to be very small, relatively small, right? 1.2 million or more, but not much more than that. But the revenue that this company is going to generate will continue to increase, right? Day by day, as ONPASSIVE goes into more different income streams. My gosh, just imagine how we will benefit, right? So we're not saying how much you're going to make because that's not what Ash wants, but we do know that this company is very generous in sharing its profits with founders. It's an intentional thing by Ash Mufareh, who is intending to make us have true freedom. So I just feel like we're really blessed to be in this company. I see we have Tony Monk who would like to say a few words.
Yeah, I just have a question, Lynn. Thank you so much. You know, when it comes to, I'm very good with marketing. You can ask me any questions about marketing, but when it comes to the products, like the details of the products, I'm very stupid. Please don't ask me any questions about the products. But these guys, my brothers, Oliver, Vincent, Collins, thank you guys for being here. You know, thank you for the dedication that you guys are giving. I know it's late there. It's nice to see my brothers. This question is for my brother, Oliver. Oliver, long time no speak. Brother, you talk about how you doing, brother?
Yeah.
You talk about fiber optic cables, right? Are these the same cables that are used in quantum physics to send like one particle through the cable?
These are the cables that goes to our servers.
Yeah, I understand, and it's fast, right?
It's fast.
It's
pretty
very
fast.
So they use the same cables in quantum physics, I believe.
Yes, you use fiber optic cables for everything.
shoot particles at the speed of light.
Yes.
For example, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. That's all I wanted to know. That's very, very high sophisticated stuff there.
Yeah.
Thanks,
that's why,
Oliver. Appreciate it.
That's why I keep saying everything that our CEO has put in place, you know, in our technology, we are ahead of all the tech companies.
Wow. You also talk about a firewall. I'm familiar with that when it comes to the computer.
Yeah.
Is this firewall that we're using to protect our database? I assume it's more sophisticated than what we have.
Yeah.
Than what I have as a system on my computer, for example.
Oh, but way far better than.
Okay.
way far better. It had. I don't know for what I can visualize or that I know that we have the auto firewalls, you know, that you have the inner firewalls and the outer firewall, which the statics and the dynamics of firewalls that you can the way our own is going to be the latest firewalls. Then come again that we have the IPv6 with it that has the automated configuration also there.
So as far as security and protection, we are fine. We're good. We're really good.
We're good. We're good because we have the encryption. We have our encryption that, you know, both address and both in transit. Wow. In transit is when the movement of the data, because we should remember that all these things is because of the data. I think my brother Madi Degamo said this last time here. The data is you know, trillions of dollars that we have to protect.
So this data, Oliver, is moving through these fiber optic cables.
Yes.
That you're talking about, right? Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. Thank you so much for that, brother. Appreciate it.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you, Lynn.
sir.
Back to you, Lynn. Thanks.
Thanks, Tony. Dr. Benny, go ahead.
Great presentation, Brother Vincent, Brother Collins, Brother Olivier, regarding the IPv6. If I may ask, I think maybe Brother Olivier, you stated that IPv6 is designed to secure built-in encryption. Is it a built-in encryption within our company? Is the IPv6 built in? Do they have a built-in encryption?
It depends. It depends. I've not really seen the architecture. We are just talking based on what we can imagine that we have, because we've not seen that. If I see the architecture plan, the flow diagram, I can easily tell you what it is. We are just talking based on what we can imagine what is behind the scene, because we don't have the
If I can just add, IPv6 have encryption.
Yes.
Correct.
It has its own inbuilt encryption.
So I was just asking whether it is built in.
Yes.
Yeah, it is built in, because normally if you look at the way I said something about alpha and numeric, so it has a number, it has a letter, it has a special character. All of those things, they are all coded. So no one can easily pick the data that are transmitted from one end to the other. So it gives you that leverage where everything is protected. But if you look at IPv4, it's just numbers. They can easily hack on that. That's why people can hack into some of the IP addresses. They can get your data. But IPv6, you cannot hack because it's alpha and numeric and special character. Like the way they protect your password. Remember, when now passwords are very strong. That's how IPv6 is built, inbuilt with that internal protection.
And even the spams, they cannot spam. You
cannot spam it.
They cannot spam it also. Cannot.
Yeah.
That's how powerful it is.
Yeah.
So do you think
the shortcoming of IPv4, they look at the loophole, and that's why they develop IPv6. One, to give you that leverage of trillions times 108. So 1 trillion, 4 trillions times 108 to give you that, that more advantage, and then encode it again and protect and the protection. So everything they have built is just looking at all the shortcomings of IPv4 and IPv5. They have IPv4 and IPv5. Now we are in IPv6.
Okay.
Google and Amazon, all of those companies, this old company, they build everything using IPv4. Yeah. So IPv5 is there, and now we have IPv6.
So I just wanted to find out, do you think it is a good idea to include IPv4 and 6 together within our company? Or we should just use only the IPv4?
We are going straight to IPv4, we are only short of IP addresses.
Yeah.
IPv4, now we are talking about billions. And how many gadgets do you have? Ask yourself, in your household, you have about, how many mobile phones have you bought?
Plenty.
They have different IP addresses. Yeah, they have different IP addresses. Bravis, want to add on that?
Yeah. So, Dr. Benny, the IPv6 can run as IPv4. You understand? The IPv6 can run as IPv4. So once is configured, we don't need to go to IPv4 anymore, because it can run also as IPv4. You will get it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. May I ask one more question? Do you think IPv6 slow down internet? Does it slow down internet?
No.
It doesn't.
No. It says speed up. It says speed it up. Speed it up.
Yeah.
One more thing. How about what is the importance of the fiber optics within our company? The importance.
Oh my God.
One is the speed.
The speed. The most important is the speed. Also, that's what I'm saying. Our technology, our CEO, he has used the most latest technology in every angle that you want to think of, and he has used all the futures for any technology that you want to think about. So when you ask about the fiber optic cables, first, it's very, very expensive. It's very, very expensive. Not any kind of person, even companies can use fiber optic, can buy and use it easily. So our CEO, he went for the top and the top and the top of technology for everything. So fiber optic cables is very expensive.
So let me ask something, Dr. Benny. When you look at the old time when they were building technology, developing software, they used to use Visual Basic, right?
Right.
Yeah, very, very old technology. Nobody want to work, no IT engineer this modern age will work with Visual Basic. We're talking about JavaScript, Angular J. We're talking about Bootstrap, all of those things. These are the latest. If you want to build any technology, you don't use Bootstrap, you don't use Angular J, you don't use JavaScript, C#, C++. There's nothing you can talk about. PHP, there's nothing you can talk about. So these are the latest. When we talk about ONPASSIVE is in the right places because everything they are building is around this framework.
And ahead, and we are
get the
ahead.
reason now why we are the best of the best.
Yep. Yep.
Thank you.
Technology-wise, everything, marketing will not talk, but when it comes to the eye to our technology, based on what we see without the flow diagram or the architecture diagram, we are ahead of the game. If we look at the other tech companies who don't want to call their names, that they call themselves, they are the giant, we are going to be the super giant. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your answers. I really appreciate it. I'm done.
You're welcome.
Hey, I wanna add something.
Please do.
I just want to, if you go to look up your IP address now, there's a website called My IP Address. It'll show you IP4 and IP6. Now IP4 won't show in most cases. It'll show that there was one there, but it's not now. But it'll show you IP6, which is that's what I have on my devices and mostly other people. It'll show you how long it is. I don't know what it is, 30, 40, 50 characters across if you count the colons and all that. I mean, it's absolutely huge. And if you click on it, it'll break down who your internet provider is, where you live, longitude, latitude, what state. I mean, it tells a lot about where you are. Now, with what Ash is going to have with the tracker, it will do that even more. It'll break it down even more. So it's really cool stuff. In 1983, when IP was invented by a couple men, which was the one we got to get a protocol. I think it was. Let me double check.
It will be unless you come in.
They called it
to Front Street and come in that way.
The dedicated regional registries such as APNIC was owned by members. I forgot what he called it. Oh, January 1st, 1983 is considered the official birthday of the internet. Prior to this, Virgin Computers network did not have a standard way to communicate with each other. A new communication protocol was established called Transfer Control Protocol, which is TCP, which is actually an IP address, and that's when it was. That's when it was formed, and then IP4 was good until the 90s somewhere. Then they realized what they thought would be enough was way off, and that's where you get the 340 trillion with IPv6. So I'm trying to follow along with these guys, but it's pretty fascinating stuff. And some of the answers are out there. You can find out what is your IP address. Now on mine, when I check my IP address, it isn't my city. It's the nearest city to where I am. And I don't know if that city actually does all around my city. Like it says Florence, I live in Mount Holly, but Florence is some kind of hub. So maybe Florence, Bordentown, Mount Holly, whatever they are, all go to that IPv6. Anyway, it's interesting stuff. You guys can look up your own IP. Well, you can find it on your computer too, but IPv6, I don't remember seeing that years ago. So they're actually moving to everybody, I guess. So that's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, let me also add to what Marty just said. I want to say this when it comes to our cloud center, our data center. One ONPASSIVE, the way I look at it, one ONPASSIVE cloud center is going to be equivalent to 4. Let me say Google cloud or AWS cloud, our one data center, because the sophistication of our equipment from the IPv6, fiber optic cables, our AI, 5G, one of our data center is going to be about 3 or 4 AWS data center, because we have modern technology and the capacity, because AWS, they do have most of their servers are and goes there with IPv4. We are going now with IPv6. You know, so when the CEO talked the other day, I was laughing because I got one, and then he said he stopped. He said he will not talk until when they've shut down. But I got him where he was going, because he knows that our cloud center or our data center are going to be well equipped, advanced technology that it doesn't need to. We don't need to have thousands of data centers around. But one with a backup is in fact, we are good to go. Thank you.
Thank you. I know I also found out that the IPv6, it has a package integrity checking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It has a robust.
There is a lot in
IPv6.
There's a lot. If you look at
a lot. We are lucky because we have that capacity that we can take even infinity.
Yeah. So we're talking about 4 trillion times 108.
So multiply it.
So it takes 4 trillion multiplied by 108.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, I just found out IP4 became maxed out in 2015.
Bam.
Yeah.
So you can so we can imagine where we are now. We are leading in technology. ONPASSIVE is leading, and we are going to lead. A lot of companies, a lot of customers are going to move over to ONPASSIVE in everything from all our products.
So, Bro Oliver, let me just add something. You know, when people look at it and they talk about billions, because the world population is about 7 billion, right?
Yeah.
About hundreds of billions. Yeah. So if you look at the way the manufacturing company are producing mobile phones, laptops, and we are buying it day in, day out. Sometimes it breaks and we throw it away, we get a new one. All of those gadgets come with a new IP address. So they cannot repeat the IP address. It's done. So that is why they continue, and that is why we have shortage of IP address, and we've moved now to IPv6. So we can accommodate, because the IP address go into where? Into the data center. You have to store it. There's a storage facility. So they need to get a sophisticated one that can accommodate, as I just said, 4 trillion times 108. So they've already had the space that can accommodate. They will have it, they use it, and maybe the next generation will come with IPv7. When IPv6 will run out, we'll go to IPv7. Technology just move on, and that's how it is.
Yeah, because the maximum for IVP4 was 4.3 billion.
Yes.
They thought that'd be plenty forever.
4.3 billion, yeah.
And absolutely saturated by 2015. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get more. Now, the comparison between 4 and 6 is like apples and oranges, 2 different things. It is so much bigger. You take 240 trillion. I mean,
yeah.
Wow.
340 trillion. Yeah.
Is it 430 trillion or 430 trillion? That was, I wasn't clear on that.
340 trillion, 340 trillion.
2 trillion.
340 trillion.
Trillion.
That's how the IPv6 can host. But the IPv4, it was 4.3 billion devices. but it sounds big, but apparently it's not. This is the problem, because in one house, imagine a family of 2 children, and then let's say father have a mobile phone, mother have all the 4 people in the house have a mobile phone. Then each one of them have a laptop. So it's like time 8 already for this single family of 8 people. And then someone can have maybe iPad add to the mobile phone and the laptop. So you see in the same house, or sometimes you can have maybe 10 IP addresses. So imagine the whole population in the world. So how people are going to use, if each family, let's say example of each family have like 2 devices to use it. So you see, imagine by the whole population is a lot, but 4.3 billion is nothing. So now we need to upgrade to IPv6 with 340 trillion. So that's make it much more bigger, and then we can use it for years to come. And then we keep using the IPv6 until maybe if after 15 years, 20 years, they realize that it's not enough again, we can move it to maybe IPv7. Who knows? So at the moment is the BIP6.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it is.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to Lucy Duba from Papua New Guinea. Go ahead and unmute yourself. There you go.
Hello everyone. Thank you, Lynn, and thank you, Ron. My question goes to Oliver. Oliver, you mentioned something about the firewall. Do we have to fireproof when we log in? Because we have this fireproof that appears.
No.
And second question is, what happens when we fireproof or when we're not fireproof?
Your line is breaking. I can't get well. I hear about fireproof and firewalls.
Could you turn your video off? Okay, could you repeat your question? It should be clearer now. Go ahead, Lucy, repeat your question.
Okay, my first question is, Oliver said something about the firewall.
Yes.
On our login page, when we are trying to log in, do we have to fireproof when we are logging in?
No.
And the second question is, what happens when we fireproof or when we do not fireproof?
Let me say something before we go any farther. Everything that is being discussed tonight is educational. Nobody here has to do anything. The IT guys are letting you know how great the system is. You don't need to worry about fireproof, firewall, fire extinguishers, nothing. Everything's okay. Don't panic. It's just they're explaining to you why the system that Ashmufar put together is the best of the best. That is exactly what they're doing. And they're trying to make it so that everybody understands it. But do not take this as something you need to do. Thank God, because none of us could do this stuff. So yeah, we don't need to do anything. It's educational. It's something to talk about so you can finally see how valuable this company really is. And they're trying to break it down to our level. That's all. Don't worry about Lucy. There's nothing you have to do. It has nothing to do with, oh my God, if I don't do this, it's not going to work. No, you don't have to do, you have to do nothing about that. This is just educational, almost entertaining because I love hearing about it, but don't take it any more than that. Sorry for interrupting, guys. I didn't mean to do that.
It's okay. Thank you.
That's a good
Thank you
clarification.
so much.
So what do you think, Lucy? Are we in good shape with ONPASSIVE?
Sure, we are. Thank you so much.
Thank you for asking your question. All right, now we have, you're welcome. Okay, now we have Tony Monk.
Thank you, Lynn. I have another question. For my 4 Einstein brothers, that includes you, Marty, from a bird's point of view, okay, for some of us that are not very adverse to what you guys are talking about, okay, you guys are talking about complicated stuff, and some of us just don't really get it. I have an idea. I have an idea, but what I want you guys to explain to everyone that does not understand what you're talking about when it comes to the IP addresses, right? What is the importance of ONPASSIVE having as many IP addresses as possible?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good one, Tony.
Yeah. Who want to go? Oliver, you want to go?
Yeah, let me start, and then I think everybody,
Okay.
Oliver, and you can take it. So the importance, remember, we have almost 1.2 million now founders, right? All of us, each and every one will have a website built by ONPASSIVE, and the website will be hosted on a domain. So you can have the best of the best website. If there is no IP address on that website, you will not be visible in the market. Nobody can see you. So the domain creates the IP address. So the moment you are hosted on that domain, there is an IP address. So you'll be visible in the internet space so people can see you. You know, a lot of people build website and they go and buy domain because there is no IP address and stuff like that. You need to host them, and all of those websites must have an IP address where you can track it and see it. So that is the important why we are talking about IP address, so they can know Lynn is there, Collins Manor is there, Oliver is there, Brad Vincent. They can identify all of us anywhere, anytime through ONPASSIVE.
But what kind of information does it give it all? Okay, these IP addresses, okay, so they've got that, they know that somebody's on their computer, using their computer, but what kind of, do they have information that no one else has? For example, where they shop, what they do on the internet, what time they're on the internet, that kind of stuff. Is that the importance of having the IP address, so they know these things, so they can have a better advantage of traffic, for example, for guaranteed traffic? For instance, if they collect these IP addresses, right? Do they have information of what time these people are on the internet all over the world?
Can I try
Where
to
they
answer?
go, that kind of stuff.
Let
Let Marty go. Yeah.
Let me try. And if I'm no good, you can kick me off, Lynn. Think about this for a minute. As soon as somebody clicks on something, like Colin said, boom, bam, they have their IP address, okay? Now, in most cases, they clicked on it, they had their IP address anyway because they sent it to them. Now, on top of that, when they send it to them, what is that person at that IP address doing? They're giving Ashmove Forest Company their name and their email. Okay, so now they know where they live, they know their email, they know their name, they know what device they're using, they know what state they're in, they know what country they're in, and they know what time zone. Let's go to the next step. They send them the first bit of information. Nobody gets in the first time, right? So you do this drip campaign where you send a little information every couple days. What time do you send it? Well, I'm not going to send it to a guy in Alaska at 2 o'clock in the morning. I want it to be there when he gets up to have his cup of coffee at 6 o'clock a.m. So it will send the information back to him at the best time for him, and the best time for the guy in Africa, and the best time for the woman in Nova Scotia. That's where the power of this comes in. Not only do you know where they live, they told you who they are, they told you what their email is, and then when you do the tracker on top of that, now you know their pattern. You know where they're going, when they're going, what they like, if they follow up, how long did they watch a video? The follow-up can come back and say, hey, John, I noticed you watched a video last night at 10 o'clock their time, not my time. You watched 22 minutes of a 40-minute video. Would you like to finish? Boom, click here. It'll go right back. These are the kinds of things that AI and all this information. That's why I say data's money. And if you get data, and any time that somebody on the receiving end thinks you're talking to them personally, they're more likely to respond. If you're treated like the crowd, you trash it, you gobble it up in your hand, you throw it in the trash. So ONPASSIVE is going to be, how can I help you? Not blow it in your face, but it's going to follow you in a really nice way, and you're in until you say, take me off the list. I
So
hope
this
I-
IP,
I
so
hope
this
I-
IP address, Marty, is a marketing, as a marketer's dream. In other
Oh,
words.
oh yeah,
In other
no,
words,
no
that's what-
doubt. You have everybody's address,
Wow.
even if you're sending a Christmas card, right? I mean, whatever it is, you're constantly in contact with the more people, the more. All right, somebody's calling me. That's all I got.
And
Yeah.
unpassive.
So let me just add to what Marty said, Tony.
So unpassive has all the IP addresses in the world.
Correct.
Oh my dear
So
God.
whatever you buy, whatever device you buy, just go to the shop now and buy a device. ONPASSIVE have the IP address. The moment you connect to internet, ONPASSIVE. And one of the things I want to say, when you look at the way it works, like the way Marty have just explained it. So just think for a moment, you go to a shopping site, right? You do something, you buy something. So you have a certain brand of things you buy. Look at your website, it's running on your device, running every day. You see new things, they're just putting new things on top of. In short, it's just in your face because they know what you like. Whatever shop you visited, they have already tracked your IP address and they train this, and you'll be tempted no matter what you click on it, they are making money. But ONPASSIVE have taken it, to another level where they follow up in a nice way, not in a bad way, like the way other companies do. They just trade in your face. Look at, open Yahoo Mail. Look at the number of advert that is running behind. It's because you visit all of those places. So they start to throw them all. Every time they have a new brand, they put it there because they know you visit all the sites. But ONPASSIVE is taking it to another level where they'll target you in another way, in a nice way, and you will shop whether you like it or not. That's why Mr. Ash said, we will target our customers. We know what they want and we'll put it there. Not like in a bad way, but in a nice way and follow up.
So I understand now why Ash says we're going to be the hunted.
Yes.
So, Brother Tony, the IP address, let's try to put it in one very simple way. To reach is like to reach your house. If I want to reach your house, I must know your correct street address and then the zip code. This is how exactly the IP address works, the same way for your device. It's the same way. So if I want to go to your house, I need to know your street address and then your zip code. If I have these two, this is how I can reach your address. So the IP address it works the same way for your device. So it's your device is there, the IP address use it to get to your device. So this is the same way. Like
I
from
have one more question, just one more question, Lynn. Now, somebody talked about having ONPASSIVE having trillions of IP addresses. There's only so many billion people on the planet. Are we talking about multiple devices?
Yes.
That have different IP. Okay.
100%. Because Tony, every device you buy, remember when you discard it or the device is broken, that IP address is gone. You cannot use it again. You can use it again. It's gone for that device. The moment you go to shop and you buy, there's a new IP address. Say you have 5, 6, as Brother Vincent, Brother Oliver said, and Brother Vincent, 5, 6 in a family. All of them has phone, they have tablet, they have laptop. All these things come with different IP address. The moment you go to internet, you must connect to internet. So that is it. So in a household of 4 and say 8 devices, 8 IP address multiplied by how many billion people on this planet, those who are internet users. It's massive. It's massive. So we are even short of IP address.
Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your amazing answers. That's great. That really, I'm not going to get to sleep tonight. Thanks.
Yeah. And also all the big company, every single computers they're using, every single corporate, they also use IP address. So imagine if you go to Microsoft, they have maybe 20,000 employees, you need 1,000 IP address. Plus our home address, again, you need the IP address. So the need of IP address more and more become big and big. So this is why we move to IPv6 V4 to V6, because the need become very huge. Even you go to a single company, you can see a one person employee can have a laptop, you can have a desktop computer, you can have an iPad. So all this, they need an IP address for one single corporate. And then you take all the company in the world, they need their own IP address. Every single device in the company need the IP address. You go to every single household in the world, they need IP address according to the numbers of a device you have. So you see the need of the IP address become more and more important, because if you have, let's say, average of 2 devices in your house, how many houses in one country like UK is a lot. So you need to provide IP address for these people, and then plus the corporate schools, today schools, education, train, every services. They need every device connected to the network. They need the IP address. So you can see the need of IP address increase day and days. And also with our COVID-19, today most people work from home. They need IP address. They need the IP address everywhere you go, hospital, train, every airport, everywhere you go in the world, you need the IP address. And then most of the public places today, even airport, you have a Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi, you can connect your device. All these people, everywhere you go, you need the IP address. Any public place you go and sit, you need the IP address. So the need of IP address increased. But before, we don't have that, because you may be one connection in one house, you have one laptop. But today, because of the changing of the world, one household can have 10 devices. And then the 10 should have, each of them have a single IP address. So you imagine how the IP address become important in our world today.
Yeah. And Brother Vincent, just look at it, even go to like some of these industries, all the printers have IP address because they are connected.
Yep. Yep.
All the printers, every robot or whatever they're using have IP addresses. So if you just think about it, it's just crazy, about trillions upon trillions.
Devices in the hospital as well. All the devices, all the machines.
All the devices in the hospital, they have IP address. Because the moment the system breakdown, the first thing the engineer will ask, what is the IP address of that system?
So for example, in the hospital, you're saying that all the equipment has an IP address.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Individual. IP.
Individual.
Yes.
Wow.
Each device.
So if one of the system break, the engineer will ask you, can you provide the IP address? Turn the back of the gadget and tell me, read that number. That's the IP address.
Because they can troubleshoot.
They can troubleshoot
through the IP address.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And then the engineer can be in India and troubleshooting your machine in Canada using your IP address.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So
this
is how it works.
IP address, I can get hold of your computer or your gadget.
Mm-hmm.
That is why we keep talking about security, because the bad guys can go through your IP address.
Yeah.
Get your machine ransom.
Yeah. You just get hold of your machine. You cannot.
That's why V6. That's why IPv6 is encrypted. That they cannot.
Yeah.
The security there is very high, and they cannot spam also.
Yeah.
That's why we say the V6 is very important, and the IP addresses are also very, very important. So they must be secure. It comes with its own security.
So the V6 is more secure than the V4.
Yes, definitely.
So that's why we said V4 is numbers, but V6 is alpha and numeric. All those
and colon.
And they have a colon instead of dot. It's colon.
Thank you for explaining that. Well, I feel comfortable that 340 trillion should last us a while.
Yeah, it could be okay for the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're in good shape then. All right, that's good to hear. All right, next we have Joyce Hicks. Hi, Joyce.
Hi, Lynn. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is blowing me away. I'm like over information overflow, but it's so good. You guys broke this down so much that I can understand it, and I'm just like so excited. But Oliver, Colin, and Vincent, thank you, and Marty. It's like, oh my gosh, Lynn and Brian, thank you for this webinar. You guys are geniuses as well, so thank you so much for everything that you're doing. I just had a question. So when I jump in my car, here comes this map that tracks me everywhere I go. So I've jumped in my car, so I guess they know where I'm going. They've probably noticed my pattern. It's probably because I have my location on. But I'll jump in my car and I'm going to a restaurant, and they'll say 5 miles to Olive Garden. This is crazy. So is OnPassive, will they be doing things like this, or is this because I have my location? Do I need my location on for them to track that? Or I know the IP address you understand. I'm just trying to understand everything that you guys are saying. But so when I jump in my car and it's tracking that, does OnPassive track that type of information as well too? If that makes sense at all.
So if I may say that before Bro Oliver come in, Bro Vincent, yeah. So, you know, with the IP tracker, we have geolocation and geofencing. It is there. So if the police said they want to use IP tracker, they can, you know, they can geofence an area, just block it, shut down everything there, and make sure if there's a criminal, they can arrest that person. And they can still track your location. Because remember, we are talking about our back office. Every movement in our back office can be seen. So whatever you do from the time of logging in to every field you go and say you go to all network and all this, they can see you because there is a record that keeps everything. But it's for our own security because, you know, if somebody go in, like sometimes I say people hack in, you hack in, the engineer will know that you are there. They know your name, they know your address, because we have IP tracker working behind. So there is no way you can mess up in O-Founder. And O-Tracker is coming to be a big player, you know, has all this functionality. So they can know your geolocation. Not like, you know, GPS is different, right? GPS is different. But we are talking about IP tracker tracking everything because there is no way you can hide when it comes to IP tracker. As long as you have an IP address, you do something, IP tracker can track you because they'll locate your IP address and know where you are. The only thing, somebody asked me, so what can I do? I said, the only thing you can do is not to have any gadget. Because the moment you buy a new phone, we've got you.
Yep.
So I can add that IP tracker, it will be good also for almost every single government in the world because the police can use IP tracker to track bad people in the scene. Because let's say the police investigating for issue happened today, and then they can use the IP tracker to track the person, and then they can catch him. So I believe most country police, the government will use IP tracker for police to use and then track bad people in our planet because it's not only one single place. Someone can do something in Africa, they can track him and then they can catch him. The person can be maybe in the United States and track someone in Africa. So with IP tracker is very, very good and powerful tools as well for police to make police doing their job very, very easy.
Joyce, remember, some of the stuff, they have to be careful. It's against the law. You can't just go around invading somebody's privacy. But
yeah,
they have now where you can, on your key ring, put a tracker on it. So if somebody stole your car, they could plug that into a computer and say, this idiot's riding down Main Street. He just turned right on 19th Street. They meet him at the corner and arrest him. Or they take the car and they park it in the garage and they're going to tear it apart and sell it for parts. They can find it in 10 minutes. That's the good thing about tracking. Now, will the company know that you went to a restaurant and all that? No, I hope not. But no, I just don't think they could legally, and they have no reason to want to do that. The tracking part of it is once you come into the world of the internet, that's where tracking starts. And only if you're in on it, like they're not tricking people. Remember, there's a follow-up, a nice way, and there's a follow-up that's spam. A nice way is reminding you that what you did, and people say, well, I don't need to be reminded. Think about it. Saturday night, you click on something you think it's pretty interesting. You go to bed that night, the next day you get up, you got kids, a dog, you got to do, okay, 20 minutes after you're up, you totally forgot about last night, even though it was a great idea. Tracking and reminding people is a different thing. They come back and say, hey, Joyce, last night you did this, this, and this. Are you still interested? Remember, this is what we have. And they show you a picture, and all of a sudden you start thinking about it and go, yeah, that's right. I was looking at that. That's marketing at its best. And that's what OnPassive will be. It'll always be that little thing tapping on your shoulder when you look over and say, remember that? Oh, that's right. Now, if you say, I don't want to talk to you again, and don't send me anything, you could stop it. That's a law. You don't get anything you don't want. But if they do it right, which they're going to, they're going to subtle remind you of what you were looking at. And when you follow the procedure and you went through the whole system, maybe once every month or a couple of weeks, you'll get some other reminder about something else that might have something to do with what you liked. Okay, because now they're starting to learn about you. If you wanted Connect, you might like DIT, or you might like Capture, or you might like, and it'll start, and then they go, oh, I do like that. And what happens then? You go and you say, I'm going to buy that. And now you realize the first thing you looked at looks even better now because it'll go together with that. Now, what do you have? You have a marketing empire. And that's what ONPASSIVE is going to do at its best. I hope I explained that right.
That's right, Marty. That's really right. That's great.
So I think one of the things that I would want to be reassured of is, let's suppose I have like an ex-husband and he's out to get me and he's looking for me, or an ex-boyfriend or something, whatever like that. We don't have to worry that they're going to use our software to track me down, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because some women might get kind of feel creepy about it. So I just want to make sure that's not going to happen, and that's not what the software is for. Now, if it's an like police, I guess they could use it legitimately and legally. That would be fine, but not individuals.
No. So it's more of marketing. The IP tracker is more about marketing. Looking at the heat map, because they have heat map, they can say, okay, these are the areas. For instance, you are in Northern California and they love all ONPASSIVE software. I said they like Academy. So ONPASSIVE can target that market. Someone in UK maybe like Connect, they can target the market so they don't waste resources. Sometimes marketing, as Marty always said, sometimes it's really expensive where you want to target like globally, but you can easily target, certain areas with using tracker and said, okay, heat map. There are a lot of people here who really love our product, so we can concentrate there, spend more money, and then get all of those people to come into ONPASSIVE. Yep. And that's what we'll be doing, bringing customers in.
Thank you, guys.
Yes. Yeah, but not to go and try to get people. No. That's funny.
Thank you.
I won't be able to sleep tonight. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joyce. We have next Daryl Cook.
Hey, thanks so much, gents. This has been amazing. Folks, what you just got was IP address 101 on the college level. And I was an elementary teacher for 14 years. So let me kind of bring this down so I can understand it. So they were just talking about an ELEPHANT. Now, let me simplify it. Elephant. Now you have the picture. So gents, tell me if I'm correct. We have this ocean of IP addresses. And what I need to know is when I activate my account, I'm going to get a drinking fountain of traffic that brings those IP addresses to me. Then as I start making more money, I want to create a fire hose and hook it in and get more IP addresses. And then I want to get a Niagara Falls when I can afford it, and finally get the Victoria Falls so I can then be financially free. Does that work?
Absolutely. You should have came on an hour ago. We could have shut this down.
Yeah, that is it. That is it. You got it.
You got it.
All right.
You just nailed it.
Awesome. Next, we have David Switzer.
Well, I just want to say, now this is only going to work when you're in your back office, right? I mean, it's not going to go in your private life or nothing like that, right? I mean, more or less, or you're not going to lose your private life by being on the computer wise. But I mean, this is just going to work when you're in your back office, right? Am I right about that, or what?
It's going to work with computers or your phone or whatever you want it to work with. No, they're not. They're not going to do an operation and put a chip inside you, Dave. You'll be good. You'll be fine.
Well, I just thought I asked. I got Yeah, I don't know anything about this stuff, but it doesn't hurt to ask, you know.
No, you'll be fine. But at night, if you do hear a buzzing sound, make sure you get up real quick. Who knows?
Okay.
Thanks. Thanks for asking. Bruce, how are you? You can unmute. Bruce Christie. Unmute.
Okay.
There you go.
I want to thank all you guys for doing all the service you do. You know, it reminded me of in Gone with the Wind, there was this one scene where a woman was pregnant and her servant said, I don't know nothing about birthing babies, but somehow she was able to birth the baby. And I don't know why it made me think of that, but it did. But let me put it to you this way. This to me, having the IP addresses the way that OnPassive has it, it's like being on marketing on super steroids. You know, it's just it's really incredible the way that Ash has this designed, where we don't have to do anything, and these IP addresses are going to constantly do the drip and do all the information out to all these people who come and look at our sites. And it's wonderful that we don't really have to, like Marty said, and it's very important to remember, we don't have to know IT to be successful in OnPassive. All we have to do is show up and be involved, be engaged. Because if you're engaged, you're going to start bringing more people in, whether they come in as founders or they come in later. If they come in later, most of the time they'll come in through AI. That doesn't mean you won't invite people in. It means a lot of it will come in naturally through AI. So what do you think, guys? Do you think this is like more? And I see that all of this is about having targeted traffic, and it's huge. It's very huge. And I'm thinking about the other part of the data is that we have the firewalls and we have the encryption to protect us from the outsiders who want to come and try to attack and they can't get in. There's like so many moats and bridges and everything else that they can't get through. So we're well protected and OnPassive. And at the same time, we're going to make a lot of money. And we're going to make a lot of difference in the lives of many people. So would you say that's pretty accurate? We're like targeted marketing on steroids.
Anybody want to respond to that? Marketing on steroids, I think so. We're the first marketing wonder of the world, right? That's what OnPassive is, according to Ash Mufara. So I would say, yeah, marketing on steroids. All right, we're gonna end with Frida Jork, and then we're gonna allow our speakers to say their final words before we end tonight. Go ahead, Frida.
Hi, everybody. It's been so good to hear everybody and see everybody tonight. The topics were just awesome. And I'm so thankful for Marty and Lynn and Ron and everybody that spoke tonight was incredible. It's one of the best webinars that I've seen in a really long time, as far as being informative and people actually understanding what is going on. I think that's awesome. And talk about not being able to sleep. Oh, please. But at least they say sleep, it's overrated. You know, I mean, the closer we get to our launch, the less sleep I get. I get so excited and I just can't stand it. And that's all because of one thing, folks. You know what I'm going to say. OnPassive rocks.
Thank you, Frida. I love the enthusiasm. All right, now we're going to go ahead and let's go back to our 3 IT guys. If they want to say anything, go for it. Vincent,
Let me, let me start.
Oliver.
Yeah, let me start.
Sure.
I want to thank everybody that is here. Tomorrow we have our Tech Pro program from 5 p.m. Eastern Time for 1 hour. We'll be there. So everybody's invited to come. And just want to let everybody know that when it comes to our technology, we are fine. And we are the top at the top. So when it comes to that technology, the security, we should sleep and sleep well, because our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufara, has taken us to the next level, that we should not be scared for anything. We have 5G fiber optic cable, IP6 version 6, so AI, automated, and integration. I think based on all these, we are fine, and we are at the top, and we are leading. We are leading in technology. Thank you.
Thank you. Collins or Vincent?
So, yeah, all right. So I'll come before Vincent. So yes, just want to thank everyone. Thank you, Lynn, for giving me this opportunity. It's almost 3 a.m. So, and I'm still glad to be up. I'm just fired up as ever. So it's just like one of the great webinars I've attended as well. So as Brother Oliver said, we have the Tech Pro tomorrow, and we have other webinars as well coming up tomorrow, and it will be really hot. So we just have the best of the best. That's why I'm excited, to be an IT engineer and to see what ONPASSIVE have built. Nobody have ever done it. I don't think even my company, we can do it. I'm sorry to say that. We can't really do this integration because it's hard work. It's a lot of work. It's something that if you ask me to be part of it, I'll think twice. It is hard. But these guys in India, the tech team, Mr. Ash Mofara, what they've put together is mind-blowing. And that's why I'm excited. This will really erupt the world, because everything is just like the best of the best. You look at our old mail, I've jumped into everything, tried to do all those comparisons. There is nothing like this. There is nothing. One of the things we don't see is like taking a standalone product and integrate it into OFounder, make it as easy and simplify it. When you click on it, you think like, my goodness, everything is just like in OFounder. No, it is a very big application. Look at OMail, it's very massive. ODex is massive. OStaff is massive. But what they have done is they have integrated and make it look simple into OFounder. This is massive. No company can ever do this. It is hard work. So I just want to say thank you, and let's wait. As Mr. Ashbufara said, our ears will pop when the time comes. The world will know that something is coming. They have already hit, the heat is already starting. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Collins.
Okay. Hi. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. I would like to thank all the participants today. It was great webinar. It was so great. Yeah. So also, I would like to assure people that we are in great hands, because ONPASSIVE is great, because what they are doing is is amazing. So my last word will be the what impressed me as well is that most of our product, we can customize the product. So any company buy the product, they can customize to their own. They can use so many. So it's a lot of opportunity on ONPASSIVE. Seeing what in existing world and compared to our product is amazing. So there's nothing to compare. So I'm very excited for ONPASSIVE. Thank you everyone for this great webinar. Thanks.
Thank
Lynn.
you, Vince. Thank you, Vincent. Appreciate you. All right. So let me just repeat. So tomorrow is going to be the first of a weekly series done by a group called Tech Pro. Tech Pro. And it's going to be Vincent Ete, Oliver Fonte, Collins Mana. Those are the three gentlemen that spoke here today, as well as Bob Takusi. and they are IT professionals working in the field with many, many decades of experience behind them cumulatively. So we're pleased to offer this series to you. It will be hosted by myself, and we'll have a guest, usually one guest, along with these 4 IT specialists, and we'll be covering different topics. So this tomorrow's topic is going to be the software development life cycle, and that's going to be presented by Collins Mana. So we encourage you to attend. It's going to be live streamed on multiple YouTube channels, so you can catch it live or catch a recording. It'll be so easy to access the recording. But we're really excited about it because it's going to be bringing complex topics, technical topics, down to a level where all of us lay people can understand. And we're going to try to relate it to you and why you should even care about these technical topics. What's in it for us, right? So hopefully you'll be part of it. Don't miss tomorrow's. It's the first webinar, so please join us. I would like to end now with Marty. He can give his final words. Marty?
What will be the time?
Yeah, what's the time?
5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be posted in the back office, and I'll also try to post in social media. Usually I post in Armand, so funny. I'll post
Thank you, Lynn.
Facebook. I'll try to post in Facebook and LinkedIn and the back office. So you'll see it. And I'll also try to post in the Telegram groups and WhatsApp groups as well, because it's open to the public. It's not founders only, it's for everyone. All right, so hope to see you. And back to Marty, who wants to give his final parting words.
Hey, that was a lot of fun. I am not a tech person, so don't confuse me with these guys. They learned what they were doing. I am not a tech person. I'm fascinated with stuff I don't know, and my passion is on passive, and whatever's part of ONPASSIVE, I want to know it as much as I can. And so I go to the source, and the source of these tech guys. So I suck the blood out of them like a vampire, trust me. But I'm as fascinated as you guys are. I appreciate everybody here tonight, and especially you guys that are across the pond, because I know it's late. No, very good meeting. Was very good, and you made it simple enough for me to understand. So I think other people did too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marty. And now it's time for my thankful comments. I'm thankful to Bill Must, who has been creating our graphics for us. I just love our Zoom background. I think it's so pretty, and I'm so proud to use it. And I'm glad you guys like it. If any of you want that Zoom background that you didn't have it today, just message me or anybody here in the group. They will be glad to share the background with you. So thank you to Bill Must. Sometimes I'm last minute, and he tolerates my last minute ways. Thank you. We love you, Bill. Also, I want to thank Marty DeGarmo, who hosts our webinar. You know, he has to give up every Friday evening for us. So we don't want to just take him for granted. Thank you, Marty. Appreciate you. Also want to thank our 3 speakers, Vincent Ette, Oliver Fonte, and Collins Mana. Thank you to Cindy Hopkins, a leader in ONPASSIVE, Viviana Rodriguez, who's in the attendees list, but she's such a faithful attendee, and Tony Monk, who made some very good comments and asked some great questions. Thank you, Tony, as well. So thank you all for being here. At this time, I would like to unmute all of you, and you can all say bye-bye to one another, and see you all next Friday.
Goodbye, Lynn.
ONPASSIVE.
Hey, guys. Thanks, Jen.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Ron.
Good night.
Bye,
everybody.
Good night to everybody. Tony. Good night. Marty. Good night, Marty. Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Bye.
Great
Good night, Dr. Benny.
Hey, Marty.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Joyce.
Good night, Queen
Everyone, good
Jenny.
night. Joyce.
Hey, good night. Bye, everybody.
Tomorrow's again.
Bye.